Magandang hapon. This is my lecture presentation in FB102 Practices in Crop Production. Unit 2, Crop Establishment Practices. But in this session, I will just be focusing on rice crop establishment practices. The general objectives for this session or this unit is to impart knowledge and skills required in rice crop establishment. Specifically, the unit is aimed to discuss the pre-activities in rice crop establishment, the practices in rice crop establishment, and the machineries utilized for rice crop production establishment. There are two methods of rice crop establishment. The first one is the direct seeding. The second one is through transplanting. There are four direct seeding methods. The first one is the broadcasting or sabog tanim. We have the drum seeding, hill dropping or pugtak, and the drill seeding or seed dibbling. Broadcasting, this practice is quite popular here in our country. It is the random scattering of seeds on the surface of the field. The way of selecting the seeds in this method is that the seeds are acquired either from registered seed grower in the locality or through barter method with the other farmer. In germinating the seeds are soaked in water for 12 to 24 hours, then drained and incubated for 24 to 48 hours. When the radicle emerges or the young roots, it is manually broadcasted in a well-prepared field. This is an example of a broadcasted field. This is in Mina de Oro, Bungabong. Then, the advantages of broadcasting is that the planting operation is quite quick and easy, and it requires less labor during planting. However, it requires lots of seeds, about 100 to 125 kilograms of seeds per hectare, and the crop in broadcasted field is vulnerable to weed problem, and mechanical weeder cannot be operated in the broadcasted field. Also, the other operations like the fertilizer and pesticide application are quite obstructed. Next, we have the drum seeding. It is where pre-germinated seeds are deposited on the field using a drum seeder. This method saves seeds and facilitates mechanical weeding because the seeds are arranged in rows on a set distance. In selecting the seeds, it is same in broadcasting, wherein the seeds are acquired from a reliable seed grower in the locality or bartered from other farmers. In germinating the seeds, it is same with broadcasting. In seeding, the seeds are placed on the field using a rotary drum seeder. A drum seeder is a machine that are designed for planting pre-germinated rice seeds in rows so that manually operated weeder can be used. The advantages of utilizing drum seeding is that planting operation is also easy, quick and easy. The labor requirement during planting is lesser. The seeds that are needed are lesser, 50 to 100 kilograms per hectare, and of course the mechanical weeder can be operated in the field. However, the disadvantage, the seeds might scatter in the event of unexpected heavy rain. So the farmer must be sure of the incoming weather during planting. Then we have the hill dropping or the manual method. Hill dropping manual method, this is quite unpopular. Only few farmers are practicing this method. This is where pre-germinated seeds are deposited on the muddy field manually by hand. This method saves seeds and facilitates mechanical weeding depending on the skills of workers because the seeds can be set in in uniform distances. In selecting the seeds, same with the broadcasting and drum seeding. The seed germination is the same with the broadcasting and drum seeding. In seeding, when the radicle emerges or the young roots, it is manually sown on the lined wet field. The advantages is that the operation is quite quick and easy as compared to transplanting. It requires less labor during planting, also as compared with transplanting. Less seeds are needed, 40 to 80 kilograms per hectare, and mechanical weeder can be also operated in the field. The disadvantage is that seeds might scatter in the event of unexpected heavy rains, just like in the drum seeding. And the uniformity of planting distances and planting density relies on the hands of the worker. Next, we have drill seeding or seed dibbling. This is also manual with the use of a simple tool. So dibbling is a method of cultivation that uses a tool called a dibber to help plant a seed. Dibber is in effect a simple pointed stick that allows you to create a hole in the ground that you can use to plant your seed in. In drill seeding or dibbling, you are dropping the seeds and covering it in a furrow. This is commonly practiced in the rain-fed plants, just like in the kaingin, in the practice of kaingin. In selecting the seeds, farmers practicing this method, they have their own method of securing their seeds. So from each cropping season, they are from the longest time they were able to preserve their own seeds because they have their own seed banking system. So from storage, seeds are directly dropped in the furrow, not pre-germinated and immediately covered with soil. They time the planting operation on the onset of rainy season. So that is in the last week of May or early weeks, first 2 weeks of June. The advantage of drill seeding or seed dibbling is that the seeds are protected from vertebrate pests. Less seeds are needed, 40 to 80 kilograms per hectare. The disadvantages is slightly laborious. The uniformity of planting distance, and planting density relies on the hands of the workers. The germination and harvest relies heavily on the climate. So that's all for the direct method. Let's proceed now to the transplanting method. Transplanting is widely practiced in the Philippines and in Asia. It is suitable for rain-fed or irrigated lowlands. The advantages of transplanting is that you need less seeds, about 20 to 60 kilograms per hectare. The plants have a head start in growth over weeds. The crop stays in the field for a shorter period of time because some portion of their cycle is in the seedbed. Is in weeding and other operation because there is a space in between the hills of rice crops. The disadvantage is that this method is quite laborious. It requires many laborers during planting. Many laborers means more cost because the contract for transplanting an hectare of field here in the parts of Bungabong and Rojas is about 8,500 pesos. I'm not sure in the other parts like in Gloria, Pinamalayan and the northern Mindoro, and same with Mansalay and Bulalakaw. Also, the seedlings tend to experience transplanting shock, especially if improperly handled from the extraction from the seedbed up to transplanting. So the seedling recovery takes time. In producing the seedling, there are several methods. The first one is through wet bed method, Dapod method, and the dry bed method. The wet bed method in producing rice seedlings is that in selecting the seeds, same in broadcasting and in hill dropping or drum seeding, the seeds are acquired either from a registered seed grower in the locality or through barter method with the other farmer. In germinating the seeds, also the same. Seeds are soaked in water for 12 to 24 hours, drained and incubated for 24 to 48 hours. Here you need to paddle the plot of 1 to 1.5 meter wide, and convenient length is prepared. You need 400 square meter to sow a bag of seeds, about 50 kilograms. The soil is fertilized with 4 to 10 bags of compost in organic practices, or 4 kilograms of complete fertilizer, or 14-14-14 in conventional practices. Pre-germinated seeds are sown at 1 kilogram per 10 square meter of seedbed. The seedlings are continuously irrigated and protected from pests, both invertebrate and vertebrate. The seedlings are ready for transplanting at 14 to 30 days after sowing. So this is an example of a wet seedbed. So you have to the area should be well prepared using a two-wheel tractor, a hand tractor, or a power tiller, or a four-wheel tractor. So here the field, the seedbeds with the seeds, and the seedbeds with rice seedlings. The workers here are uprooting the seedlings. There's another method, almost the same. Same method. Only the difference is that seedling trays are being laid in the field. So the padded plot of 2 meters wide and convenient length is prepared. 400 meters square is needed to sow a bag of seeds. Same with in the first method. Soil is fertilized. Same with the first method. And here the difference is that the seeds are pre-germinated seeds are sown in a seedbed with seedling trays. Okay, and also you have to irrigate the beds continuously, to ensure to maintain proper the needed moisture. The seedlings are ready for transplanting at 14 to 30 days. So here are the trays that are being utilized in this method. Here with the rice seedlings. This method is used if you are going to use mechanical transplanters. Then we have the Dapod method. In this method, the seeds are laid in a concrete floor or dry field with polyethylene plastic sheet or fresh banana leaves. 60 kilograms of seeds is needed to plant 1 hectare of rice field. 40 meter square floor area is needed to sow 60 kilograms of seeds. And seeds must be kept moist at all times and protected from pests. Seedlings are ready for transplanting at 10 to 14 days after sowing. So this is an example of a Dapod method in producing rice seedlings. This is in Babangunan, Victoria. Same farmer. these seedlings should be ready for transplanting about maybe 3 to 5 days. Yeah, in 3 to 5 days. Then we have the modified Dapod. It is the same with the Dapod, but the difference is that the field or the concrete floor or dry field with the plastic sheet or fresh banana leaves are laid with rooting media or soil media. So here only 10 kilograms of seeds is needed to plant 1 hectare of a rice field. You need about 30 to 36 square meter of floor area to sow 10 kilograms of seeds. Seeds must be kept moist at all times and protected from pests. Seedlings are ready for transplanting at 8 to 14 days after sowing. So here is the composition of the seedbed in the modified Dapod. So carbonized rice hull, pine sand, coco peat or coir-dash, compost or vermicast or milicast or gravcast or mix or whichever is available in your locality. So this is modified Dapod. These photos were taken at Vicente B. Ilagan National High School in San Isidro, Bungabong. You can see here that the carbonized rice hull is being laid here. Then pine sand and coco peat, and then the seeds are sown and covered with coco peat. So I prepared to cover the seeds with a composted coco peat. So this is their modified Dapod in Sri Lanka. So the field is covered with plastic mulch, and then they are using wooden separators, so they can easily create sods just like in using seedling tray in the wet bed method. So an example of a modified Dapod in concrete floor. This is in Victoria, Rojas. 11 days old seedlings, quite comparable with the 21 days old seedlings planted in a wet bed method. This is at the farm of Ronilo Cruz in Rojas, Victoria. And also we have the special practice. Seeds are sown in seedling tray for vegetable. Single seed is planted in each hole. Only 3.5 kilogram is needed for 1 hectare of land. Yes, in the system of rice intensification, you just only need 3.5 to 10 kilograms of seeds per hectare. So the seeds must be kept moist at all times and protected from pests. Seedlings are ready for transplanting at 8 to 12 days old, because in the system of rice intensification, 8 to 12 days is the optimum age of seedlings, the ideal age of seedlings at transplanting to maximize their tillering capability. So only that in this practice, in this method, this is quite laborious at first, and it will cost you a little bit more because you have to acquire seedling trays. The cost of seedling trays here in the in Bungabong and Rojas is about 65 to 80 pesos per piece. But in Calapan, maybe you can buy one at a cost of 50 pesos or 60, something like that. So single seed is planted in each hole. I used these seedlings when I joined contest in rice production way back in 2014. So we have several methods of transplanting our rice seedlings. The first one is random, second is rectangular, and we have the square planting. In the random method of transplanting, the planting distance is just estimated by the workers. The farmer will just orient the workers that the desired planting distance is, for example, 5 by 5 inches, or 8 by 8 inches, 7 by 7, or 6 by 6. And the numbers of seedlings per hill is 2 to 5. Some farmers preferred more numbers of seedling per hill. So there is no lines or guide in planting. In the rectangular method, the planting is guided or lined only between rows. The distance between hills in a row is just estimated by the workers. Then we have the square planting. Square planting is guided or lined in both ways, so crosswise. So square. So here you can observe the line, the crossing lines. This is the same field that I joined, that I my entry for the rice production contest. This work was eventually declared the winner of that said contest. So another example of square planting. Here, this is also in Victoria Rojas. The close up of that square planting method. The planting distance is 12 inches by 12 inches. Isang ruler. The number of seedlings per hill, 1. So, isa lang, single. So, square method, this is in Masagisi. Then we have the rice transplanting machineries. A rice transplanter is a machine that places rice seedlings at a proper spacing in a well-prepared paddy soil. Then we have the different types of rice transplanter. First, we have the manually operated rice transplanter. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see one or this type around the country. Not even once. No, hindi ako nakakita dito sa atin nito. I don't know, maybe hindi ko naman naikot yung buong Pilipinas. Then we have the self-propelled rice transplanter, or the walk behind self-propelled rice transplanter. Here, close up of the self-propelled rice transplanter. This photo was taken at Pampanga State Agricultural University. Here, these photos was taken in Cantil, Rojas. The operator of the machine was quite unskilled. So, kaumpisa niya pa lang, or kasimula niya pa lang humawak ng transplanter. These photos were extracted from the internet. As you can see, the credits, the website where it was where they were extracted. Then we have the self-propelled rice transplanter, the riding type rice transplanter. We have the four-wheeled rice transplanter. These pictures was taken at Tadjangao, Kaligtasan, Bungabong. This is a four-wheeled rice transplanter. This one is a three-wheeled rice transplanter. This is also a four-wheel rice transplanter. The advantages of mechanical transplanting is that transplanting of seedlings at the optimal age is possible, 14 to 18 days, Uniform spacing and optimum plant density, about 26 to 28 hills per meter with 2 to 3 seedlings per hill. Higher productivity, 5 to 7 tons per hectare compared to traditional methods where plant spacing and density may not always be consistent. But in the system of rice intensification, the productivity is more than this figure. Less transplanting shock, early seedling vigor, and uniform crop stand. Lower stress, drudgery, and health risks for farm laborers. Only few laborers are needed in performing mechanical transplanting. Better employment opportunities for rural youth through the development of custom services business. Addresses the problem of labor scarcity, especially today that people tend to migrate to the urbanized areas in the cities in Manila and in the other big cities here in our country. The disadvantage of mechanical transplanter or transplanting is that the capital investment is quite high. A unit of a four-wheel transplanter riding type will cost you about $1 million or more. It is not suitable for small parcels of land. It is also unsuitable for knee-deep or deeper fields. The success of the operation relies on the skills of the operator. So this ends my presentation in rice crop establishment practices. Thank you.